What's going on? So today is the deck profile, I promise. It's gonna be a S-Force deck, actually. So it should be pretty cool. I don't know, I just like the archetype. It seemed cool to me. Its play style it's kind of control, I guess you'd say. But I don't know, it's fun to me, so let's get started on the deck profile. So I have 3 S-Force Rapachimaru. This is your combo starter, basically. Like, without this, you have no combo in hand, I think. I think that's one of the downsides with S-Force. You can't really, like, combo without this. I mean, there's other ways to special summon, but I don't know, this is your main one, which I'll talk about all their effects during the combo section, so I'll just give you the card list for now. Then we have 3 Gravitino, so S-Force Gravitino. He's your ideal second combo piece. Then 3 S-Force Palutena. She's usually the one you want to special summon from the deck because of her effect. So then I'm in 2 S-Force Aurifist. He's pretty decent, so I don't know, I just figured I'd keep him at 2 because he's not like I wouldn't say he's a must-have, but you know, he works pretty well. Then S-Force Professor D Gamma. So he's probably the worst one. Because basically his effect is just each of your opponent's monsters in the same column as one of your S-Force monsters cannot change its battle position. If this card is normal or special summon, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls, change the battle position you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls, change its battle position. You can only use this effect of S-Force D Gamma once per turn. So yeah, it's not the best, I guess. I guess it's kind of good if they have a really strong attacking monster and you could switch it to defense and prevent it from attacking you, but I don't know. And then I use 2 Watt Kinetic Puppeteers. So 2 Watt Kinetic Puppeteer. So this one's a quick effect. You can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard, then target one monster your opponent controls, move that target to another of their monster zones. So it's really good for S-Force because S-Force effects are all about the columns. And also, I've noticed if they summon like Link Spider or something that, a Link monster that's specific to a zone, you could send this, move it, and it can't summon a monster to its zones anymore. Because like Link Spider's points down, so if you move it to a regular monster zone, they can't get their second special summon off it. So it's kind of useful. Then I have Chaos Dragon Levianeer, because to summon him, you banish 3 light, 3 dark, or 3 light and dark monsters. And it gets an effect off each, which it's good because a lot of S-Force monsters are light and dark. And with S-Force, it's like banishing monsters. You don't really worry about it too much. It's not really like, you can banish them without consequence, kind of, so it's kind of good. I'm gonna do 1, the Chaos Creator, which he's kind of the same as Chaos Dragon Levianeer. But I like his effect because he can kind of recycle the banished monsters, because he cannot be normal summon or set, must first be special summoned from your hand by banishing 1 light and 1 dark monster from your graveyard. If you control this card that was special summoned from the hand, You can target 3 banished monsters with different names, special summon one of them, then place the rest on the bottom of the deck in any order. You can only use this effect of the Chaos Creator once per turn. So it's kind of good because you get 1 back on the field and you recycle the other 2. So it kind of helps you get combo pieces back into your deck. Placing them on the bottom doesn't matter really because you're searching your deck a lot, so it's like you're shuffling anyways. So I don't know, I feel like this kind of helps a lot with that. Then on to spells, 3 S-Force Bridgehead. So this card, when this card is activated, you can add 1 S-Force monster from your deck to your hand, so it's a searcher. When an opponent's monster declares an attack on your S-Force monster in its same column, you can activate this effect. That monster you control cannot be destroyed by that battle. You can only use this effect of S-Force Bridgehead once per turn. You can only activate 1 S-Force Bridgehead per turn. So I think this is really good for saving your monsters. You can also combo it with S-Force or the Watt Kinetic Puppeteer, because you can change one of their monster zones to the same as your S-Force monster, so it's pretty good. 3 S-Force Showdown. I feel like this card is very essential for the combo because so it's activate one of the following effects. Special summon 1 S-Force monster from your hand in defense position, or target 1 S-Force monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. You can only activate 1 S-Force Showdown per turn. So I mostly use it for the special summon, the first effect, and I'll tell you why in the combo section. So, you know, at the end of the video I'll show the combos. I only run 2 S-Force Specimen, just because it's, number one, it's a trap, so, you know, they always have the potential to get destroyed before you can use it. And this is, if your opponent controls a monster, target one of your S-Force monsters that is banished or in your graveyard, special summon it to your field in the same column as an opponent's monster. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 S-Force monster you control, move that target to another of your monster zones. You can only use 1 S-Force Specimen effect per turn, and only once that turn. So this is really good. It's just situational because your opponent does have to have a monster, so if they don't, then it's kind of like a dead trap card sitting on your field or something. But its effect is very good because it can bring banished monsters back, and it can bring them back from the graveyard. So, and it brings it to the column that an S-Force, or that your opponent's monster is, so that way the S-Force effects will activate. So I think it's pretty good. I just run 2 Dark Ruler no more, just because you run into some situations where, you know, one effect gets negated and then your combo's pretty much dead. Like, so this kind of helps, you know, stop maybe Dragoon, or, you know, if they have Cyber Dragon Infinity or something of that nature, Crystal Link Synchro Dragon, something like that. So yeah, pretty good. And then I run Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring and Droll and Lockbird. I've been testing Droll and Lockbird. Honestly, I think Ash is the way to go. So I think I'll take this out and put an Ash Blossom in, because this, I mean, it stops combos, because it's like, there's pros and cons, because this one you have to let them search first, and once they add it, then you can use it, and it can, you know, it can shut down entire combos because they can't add cards from the main deck to the hand anymore, except during the draw phase. So that's for the entire turn, so they, you know, they can't keep pulling cards for combos. But Ash stops the card right away. Like if they're using a pot or you know, a searcher, you can negate that card right away. So Ash is good for negating a single card, and this is good for negating full combos. So I don't know, I feel like this is more situational, and Ash kind of helps you when you need it, because you can also hold Ash until the right moment arrives in the combo. You can stop it, so it's kind of like, I don't know, I feel like Ash is the way to go. So I would do 2 Ashes probably. Then I run 3 Cyframe Gamma. Also, I forgot this deck is a 41 card deck, and it's because of Gamma and of course the Cyframe driver. So you already know what these do. If anything, if you want, like for me, if I wanted to run a 40 card deck, I would replace these with 3 Lightning Storm, and then it'd be a 40 card. But Lightning Storm is like, I don't know, 120 or 113 or something around there. So yeah, we don't have them. But yeah, that's that. You play 1 Pot of Prosperity, simply because you can choose your extra deck monsters to send, and I'll tell you why once I get to the extra deck. But this is very good in this deck. I might even consider running 2 of these. I just only have 1, so have to make do. 1 Monster Reborn, just because sometimes you need that extender on your turn and you might not have the trap card laid down. So this is just, obviously good extender, or just to get a good monster back on your field. 1 Reinforcement of the Army. This is to search Rappa Chiyomaru, your main combo piece, because it is a warrior and it's level 2, I believe, so it's lower than 4. There can only be 1. This is very good in this deck because each player can only control 1 monster of each type. If a player controls 2 or more monsters of the same type, they must send some to the graveyard, so they control no more than 1 monster of that type. So this is really good because it's kind of like I don't know, like an evenly matched, or yeah, I think it's evenly matched that it is. But it's really good with S-Force because S-Force is like multiple types. Like there's Psychic, there's Cyberse, there's Warrior. So it's like, it doesn't affect you. You can still do your combo plays. You can still have multiple monsters on the field because they're all different types. Your opponent, however, if they're running like Dragon Link, usually a lot of their cards are Dragon. They're running I don't know, like Warrior deck or Beast Warrior or something, so they're limited, their combos are limited. So I think this is really good. Dimensional Fissure. This is a phenomenal card in this deck. It just disrupts pretty much all other decks because nobody really wants their monsters banished, but with S-Force, it doesn't hurt you, because like with Palutena, you can get your monsters back from banished. With that trap card, you can get them back from the banished. With the Creator, you can get them back from being banished. So it's like, it doesn't hurt you at all. 1 Called by the Grave. You all know what this is for. Hand traps and Ash and other things, If they send, I'd use it on Eldlik, the Golden Lord, sometimes, if they send it to the graveyard. So, 1 Mind Control. This helps a lot, actually, because you can take control of their monster, go into one of your links, and get rid of their monster. 1 DDR, Different Dimension Reincarnation. This is also it's like a Monster Reborn for banished cards. So you should know what it does if you've been playing for a while. And then lastly, I have 1 Solemn Strike. And again, with all these one-ofs and the hand traps, you can choose what to run. That's it for the main deck, but before we go to the extra, I'll just say, like, side deck cards, I would run definitely Nibiru's. You can run I was thinking of putting Dimension Shifter in here, which it's a very good card going second. Or no, going first, I mean. You can send it to the grave, and it banishes every card that goes to the graveyard for until the next turn or something like that. So it's really good. Like it's just one of those, like, again, situational, like you have to have no cards in your graveyard to activate it. So it's kind of like, I don't know, you know. And you know, there's all the meta cards basically, like just Ash, Lancia, what's the other one? I don't remember right now, but you know, you can substitute all these cards or side deck them, or you know, there's multiple ways that's why I like S-Force, because you can put like a lot of things in there that kind of obscure cards that won't really hurt it, but they'll hurt your opponents really bad. So now we'll go to the extra deck. So I've run 3 S-Force Justify. He's very good. I'll probably, yeah, I'll explain his effect in the combo section. So 3 S-Force Justify. And then this card, very good. Underworld got 2 Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. I think it's like $30 right now. So not too bad. But yeah, this is also a very good. I'll explain it in the combo section too. I run 3 Nightmare Unicorn and 3 Nightmare Phoenix. Now these are 3-Os because Pot of Prosperity, because you can choose which cards to send. So I usually send, you can send all 3 of these or all 6 of these to get, you know, 6 cards ahead in your deck and pick one. Or you can do, you know, 2 of these, 2 of each, and 2 other cards. So it's like, that's why I run 3-Os in here. So you don't really miss it if you send them. Then I run 1 Borrelsword Dragon, 1 Topologic Bomber Dragon, 1 Underclock Taker, and 1 Decode Talker. So these are kind of the singles I would send to. Like, I think most of the time I'll send these 2, and then 2 of the Nightmare Phoenix and Nightmare Unicorn. And then that way I still have Nightmare Unicorn and Nightmare Phoenix, or is it Phoenix? Yeah, I'll have at least one of them so I can play them if I need them. I do like these 4s though, because I like to use a lot of your opponent's monsters with mind control or something, and you know, then you can easily make the 4. So now I will do I'll do the combo section. So with combo number 1, all you really need is these 2 in your hand, S-Force Rapachimaru and S-Force Gravitino. So what you're gonna do is you summon S-Force Rapachimaru, and then I'll go over the effects so you guys, you know, like I told you I would. So with Rappa, each of your opponent's monsters in the same column as one of your S-Force monsters can only target that monster for attacks. Quick effect, you can banish 1 S-Force card from your hand, return this card to the hand, and if you do, special summon 1 S-Force monster from your deck in defense position, except S-Force Rapachimaru. You can only use this effect of S-Force Rapachimaru once per turn. So basically you would activate her effect by banishing S-Force Gravitino from your hand. So you banish him out of play. Or I'll put him up here so you guys can still see him. So he's out of play. So you get Rapachimaru back from your hand. Then you special summon S-Force Palutena in defense position from your deck. And then what Palutena's effect does is each of your opponent's monsters in the same column as one of your S-Force monsters loses 600 attack. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can target one of your banished S-Force monsters except S-Force Palutena. Special summon it. You can only use this effect of S-Force Palutena once per turn. So obviously you summon special summoner in defense from Rapachimaru's effect. So Rappa's in your hand, special summoner, Then you can special summon your banished Gravitino back to the field. And then with Gravitino's effect, his is each of your opponent's monsters in the same column as one of your S-Force monsters is banished when it leaves the field. If this card is normal or special summon, you can add one S-Force card from your deck to your hand, except S-Force Gravitino. You can only use this effect of S-Force Gravitino once per turn. So then what you would do is you would search your deck, because it says one S-Force card. Doesn't have to be monster, doesn't have to be trap. It can be either or spell or trap, whatever. It could be anything S-Force related. So you search S-Force Showdown, which remember I said I used its first effect for the combo, because its first effect is special summon one S-Force monster from your hand in defense position. So you have 2 on the field. You would use S-Force Showdown, special summon your Rapichimaru back. Then you got 3. Send all 3 to the grave to special summon S-Force Justify. And that's your Link monster. Or Link summon S-Force Justify. But I will go over his effect because he's so good, honestly. So he's Link summoned by 3 effect monsters, including an S-Force monster. You cannot summon set monsters to a zone this card points to. Quick effect. You can target one face-up effect monster your opponent controls, negate its effects until the end of this turn. Then you can move that opponent's monster to their monster zone this card points to. You can only use this effect of S-Force Justify once per turn. At the start of the damage step, if this card attacks, you can banish all monsters this card points to. So that's insane. So say this is your Link zone, right? And they say they had like 2 monsters here. So by the middle arrow and the right arrow. And say they have an effect monster. When he's summoned, you can use his effect to negate that monster's effect, bring it over to his left arrow. And then you can attack, you can banish all 3 of them. So this is why I like him. He can get rid of problematic cards like I can't remember if it works on Dragoon or not. I can't, from what I remember, I can't, I don't know, because it does say target, so I don't think it does. But it works on a lot of problematic cards, like if they got a beat stick out there or something, or just a monster with no protection, you can easily get rid of it, easily banish it, and that's why I like him. I bring him out on my turn, because if you bring him out in your opponent, like, so you bring him out first turn, right? Your opponent can still combo, like, they can bring out monsters, yeah, you can negate one of their effects, but if you mess up, they can still combo around you and they can overpower him because he's only 2600 attack. So you gotta watch out for that. So that's combo 1. And combo 2 would be these 3 cards. Or just any, like, 4th monster. I'm just using him because he can special summon, but, you could have a monster on the field already. Or you could have a monster reborn, or the trap card that gets a monster back from out of play. And then for this case, I'm just saying, like, say your opponent has 1 monster, a regular monster. So you do that whole combo again. So Rapichimaru, banish your Gravitino. Bring this back to your hand. Special summon Palutena. Special summon Gravitino. Then the same thing with search your deck for S-Force Showdown, activate it. Rapichimaru. And say you had, enough summoning material in your graveyard to summon the creator. You'd banish a light and dark monster, special summon. So you have 4 monsters. So with this combo, you can either go into your, because they're 4 effect monsters, you can go into Borrelsword Dragon if you want. You can go into Topologic Bomber Dragon. But my favorite thing to do is if your opponent has a monster, you use all 4 of yours, the 5th one being theirs, then you get out Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. And her effect is, so 4 plus effect monsters. You can also use 1 monster your opponent controls as material to link summon this card. If this card is link summoned, you can negate the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls. This link summon card is unaffected by your opponent's activated effects unless they target this card. Once per turn, when your opponent activates a card or effect that special summons a monster from the graveyard, quick effect, you can negate the activation. So this is very good. It's like a reverse of Dragoon because it can't be hit unless it's targeted, so it's weird. You don't usually see that type of effect, but I don't know, it's really cool because it can clear the board. It can negate effects on the board for your opponent. Also, another thing is, say your opponent had a Link 2 monster. In this case, because this is 5 Link arrows, but you can still use one of your opponent's monsters. So you could use their monster as a double link. So this could count as 2. And then you would only need 3 monsters. I believe that's, yeah. So you would only need 3 monsters because this would count as 2 monsters. So I've done that before. I've used one of their double arrow link monsters to special summon Goddess, Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. So really this deck, like, I don't know, there's lots of tricks and little things about it, but I don't know, it's fun to play for me. It can also be really competitive if you get the right setup, and yeah, so I don't know. Let me know what you guys think.